Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Fantastic. We are streaming. We do be streaming and we do be recording at the same time. How do they do it, ladies and gentlemen? Folks, gents, gentry, comrades. Comrades is probably the way to go with that one. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a bit too, binary. Binary. Streaming. Twitch.tv/Alexandrian Codex. Beautiful. Twit it. Past it. Fantastic. Now all of everyone who's awake at 4:48 a.m., i.e. no one can see that I've gone live in true responsible fashion. Move plane 9 over yonder. Yeah, move that on top. What do we want for ambiance? Ambiance. What does that give me? Thank God YouTube's back so I can actually Google some stuff. You know, not a lot of Kentucky ambiance. Yippee-yay! There'll be no wedding bells for today. How's that? It's not like super interesting though. Nah. That's only 2 minutes. Well, yeah, because monsoons don't really last that long. Not bad. This is top quality shit, Alex. Yeah. Get out of here. I mean, it do sound like this. It does kind of just sound like rain on Mars. Fuck. Okay. Okay. Sure. Let's do this. And then, let's layer that. Number one, it's way too loud. That okay? Yeah, that's still pretty close to my volume. There, that's probably still too loud, but that's okay. What do we want to layer this with? Fire is the thing that comes to mind, but I don't really want that. Is this a thing? Listen to the standalone. Does that work? Yeah, I think that works for me. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's kill the lights. Right, I don't stand up to kill the lights anymore. I reach over to my phone and do it from here, which is something I've never... No, I will internalize. It's just gonna take a while to remember that I'm doing this again. This is gonna be a thrill on YouTube. Oh, you could just cut the recording and start it all over again. Yeah, you know, I could. It won't. Okay. Hey, hi, hello. It's 4:53 a.m. December 14th, 2020. It's winter. Somewhere. Not here. Not in Seattle. Not really in a way that feels like winter to me, anyway. Ah, there we go. Kill that bright monitor. Yeah. It's cold, like October. Rains occasionally, like fall. But it doesn't feel like winter. And in the years I've been here, it really hasn't felt like winter. When the holidays roll around, they don't feel right. Back home where I grew up, there'd be snow on the ground by some Halloweens, Thanksgivings, and Christmases. We're lucky if we get 2 days of snow a year here in Seattle. I love this city, I really do. It's gray, silver, chrome. Beautiful new buildings covered in obnoxiously workshop paint by design teams working for architecture firms. So much urban art everywhere that I've slowly stopped paying attention to its magnificence, its beauty. Really does feel like there's a bit of a storm. God, incremental volume on what I'm using is not easy. That'll do. I wanted to go with a winter storm instead of rain because it's December. And more than that, I have the kind of erratic cabin fever that I used to get winter at home in Indiana. Late night, we want to wake. Wind rattles the trees and the glass. And you could sleep, but some mad, lunacy-inducing thing inside of you refuses to. Your head aches more and more from exhaustion, stress, dehydration. You stay awake all the same. Oh, God, I am on the precipice of sliding into a depression that's gonna take me a week or two to get out of. And I really can't afford it right now. I really can't afford it. I've been pretty distracted for the last 4 or 5 days. In a good way, largely in a good way, but I'm waiting to hear the results of my interview but I should have been applying to new positions all the same in the duration. So tomorrow I think I'll sit down and hopefully I'll apply en masse to everything I've missed in the last week. But it's the 14th. There's 17 days left of December, 17 days to get $700. That's not gonna happen. Not unless I got hired this week, started working this week, and got paid by the end of the month. It's not happening. I'm fucking trying, but it's not happening. And like, god damn it, why can't I be sad? Why can't I be depressed? Why can't I just fucking scream at how exhausted I am? Why do I have to keep throwing myself on the wheel over and over and over and over just to try to survive? I'm not even sure if I want to survive. If this is what surviving is. I don't know what I'm living for. But I know that I'm staying awake because I hate going to sleep and waking back up again, to feel trapped and stuck again, to go through the same daily routine again. Oh, it's the quarantine, but in small part. In small part. The larger part is not the necessity of responsible behavior in a pandemic. No, the crushing thing is the vampiric, parasitic economic system that I was born into. And don't feel like I can escape. God, I'm so fucking tired. I'm so fucking tired, and I want to be angry, I want to be sad, and I want to be hurt, and I want to be disappointed, and I want to be able to feel all of these feelings, but I can't. I'm just so damn tired. I'm resigned. I'm really very nearly resigned. I don't know what to do. I don't know if there's anything for me to do. I feel really alone. Because I am really alone. God damn it. There's a lot going on in the world, a lot I'm not keeping track of, a lot that I care about. I'm alone and no one's coming to help. Because no one really can help. Maybe that's not true, maybe that's too defeatist, but it feels that way. It feels like I'm stuck. And normally I try to characterize it, well, yeah, things are bad for me, but they're worse for so many other people. And that doesn't make things any better for me. I should sleep. But like, what's the point? What's the fucking point? Why go to sleep if I'm just gonna wake up and do the same fucking thing again tomorrow? And there's no, like, variation, there's no construction, no projects I'm working on, there's nothing I'm working towards, I'm not building anything, I'm just waiting and waiting and fucking waiting for nothing to goddamn happen month after month after month. Like, I can't go do anything because, I mean, everything's closed, and even if they weren't, I can't afford to do anything because I can't afford to pay rent. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing? I think the truth is, the supposed to, that's a trick. There is no supposed to. There isn't. Because it's a broken ass system and it doesn't work. No. It doesn't work in a way that is sustainable for the vast majority of people, survivable for a substantial number of people. But it is working. Because for a slim, tiny percentage, they're thriving. And God, I can't even bring myself to be mad about this. I just want to go to bed. I just want to go to bed and sleep. In the way that you did as a kid after a breakup or a bad day, where you go to sleep and wake up and it's a whole new day. It's a complete new thing. It's a hard reset. I'm so fucking tired. Yeah, I'm talking in circles, I know. Spiraling. I'm trying really hard to find things I'm enjoying right now. But it's getting harder. I'm enjoying writing. I enjoy my plants surviving, slowly growing. I've enjoyed some conversations I've had lately. I'm grateful that so many of my friends and family are doing okay. I'm grateful that I haven't lost anyone close to me yet. I really like my building's hot water. I like my bed. I like my comforter. I like my pillows. I like that I can shut myself away from the world, that I can feel safe here. I like that I'm clever. I like that I'm smart. That helped a little bit. That helped a little bit. But I am spiraling. I'm in one of those, why does anyone like me kind of headspaces. Does anyone like me? How could anyone like me? I mean, I have evidence that people like me. People very recently have asked me out. I have friends who are excited to talk to me. Talk to me almost every day. I have lots of people who have been very dear to me who are not nearby anymore that will remind me that they miss me. That will tell me that they love me out of the blue. But I'm alone and it hurts. And I try to rationalize that hurt, I think. And in being alone, I focus on all my feelings of inadequacy, my feelings of insufficiency. And I'm not going to go on a list. The list readily comes to mind because going down that list isn't going to help anything. It really isn't. Not that anything really feels like it's helping anything right now, but I know that won't be constructive at all. This isn't a typical Let's Talk. I tried to do a Let's Talk yesterday. In fact, I started recording 3 or 4 different takes, each for 20, 30 minutes. Threw them all away, deleted them. Because I kept talking about something that I'm not ready to talk about. God, this sucks. I have no idea. I'm not feeling very assured. Not feeling self-assured. Feeling very insecure, very full of self-doubt. So let's do something about that. Hey folks, I've been spiraling a bit. day or so. Been slipping into a bit of a depressive cycle and could really use some affirmation. I've been trying to get more comfortable. Just okay, rather folks. Hey, I've been slipping into a bit of a depressive cycle. Could really use some affirmation. At me, DM me, comment, whatever. Please. And Pliaze, and Jesus Christ, my fingers are off of homegrown. Yeah, they are. Thank you. Copy, paste. Do I even post in Twitter? Yeah, fucking post in Twitter. Nobody's gonna respond to it. All my responses are gonna come out of YouTube. It's fucking frustrating that I'm feeling this way. It's really fucking frustrating because, I reached out yesterday. I reached out to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8 people? 8 people. I got really affirming messages from 4 of them. I talked to like 6 other people briefly, 1 for an extended period of time. God, it sucks. God, it fucking sucks. Depression fucking blows. Even if people around me are, well, you know, metaphorically around me, not physically around me. Even if people who care about me tell me that they love me, tell me that they care about me, that they miss me, that they want to be here for me or be around for me or whatever, it doesn't stick. It doesn't fucking stick. It slides off. And I can't hold on to it. I need so much goddamn affirmation. No, that's too self-critical. I need affirmation. I need affirmation regularly. And what I'm getting from a lot of people is a form of verbal affirmation, right? I'm getting words. But I'm not... I've gotten a few like, acts of service or acts of affirmation, like people giving me things, which is incredible of them, and I'm very, very grateful, and I don't want to undermine that. But what I'm not getting is any physical affirmation or any physical affection, or not just physical in the sense of touch, but like sharing space. And again, it's not just quarantine. It's quarantine plus working a night shift job for a year before that. Fuck working graveyard. Oh my god. Oh god, that was exhausting. That was terrible. It just kept me on limbo for a year. I am such a goddamn kind and patient and compassionate person. I treat people so gently and softly and warmly and calmly. I'm a good friend. I'm a good confidant. I'm a good counselor or friend therapist. But I feel like I'm losing my goddamn mind when I need it. Well, just get a real therapist, Alex. Haha, yeah. With what insurance? What money? Fuck you. I'm gonna go for an hour. So we're about halfway done. Why an hour? It's an arbitrary point. An hour is, what, 4% of a day? 4 and some odd percent of a day. And I spend so much time being quiet, stuck in my head, so at least if I'm articulating what I'm processing rather than just processing it internally, I don't know, maybe there's something to it. I generally find these productive, even if I feel like shit, even if I feel like nothing got done. In retrospect, I tend to think that they're good for me. So I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077. Yes, boo, hiss, there's a lot of things wrong with it. The people on Twitter who have been going off of like, this isn't punk. Buddy, Cyberpunk specifically refers to the name of a game that came out like 1986, 1988, one of the two. And like in retrospect, punk in the 80s wasn't as progressive as a lot of progressive thought is now. Like there was a lot of pretty backward shit in it. Specifically, Cyberpunk 2077 is based off of later editions of that game, like Cyberpunk 2020, hence why the game was slated to come out in 2020, because that was it's part of the marketing thing. Also gotta get them holiday bucks. There's all kinds of weird performance problems and optimization issues. The AI is absolute shit. The voice acting is good, but there aren't enough interesting characters. It's a city full of people who feel like placeholder models. They feel more lifeless than like Oblivion NPCs. They have no personality whatsoever. Even if they look really cool, and even if like, oh god, I'd love to talk to this person, like, you look super interesting, they don't say anything. They spout out generic lines and just walk and then despawn as soon as you turn the camera away. It's awful. It's really, really quite bad, actually. The city as a landscape is super interesting as itself as a character. But there's so many buildings you can't go in, so many storefronts that are just generic that you can't interact with, that it feels big and empty. The same thing could have been better accomplished in a smaller scale if instead of all of Night City, you were stuck in one district or one neighborhood with all of the same amount of content. It's too much space. Too much space and nothing to do in it. For a role-playing game, it really sucks, because you're not really given a lot of agency whatsoever. It's a first-person shooter cyberpunk adventure game. And as that, it's pretty okay. It's pretty okay. It's no Deus Ex. Deus Ex is a hell of a lot better, but it's okay. Yeah, God, there's so many things that are strange about it. The limited number of relationships that you can have, like the NPCs, and like how close you are to them feels really weird. It's a very isolating game. Man, they should have. Oh, they should have done so much. It's not bad. It's like a B. It's a B minus. It's a B minus of a game. It's okay. It's fun. It's playable. I would not call it Game of the Year. It's not even the best Cyberpunk game I've ever played, but it's cool and it looks pretty. the looks pretty part sucks, because it's a stylized RPG. The guns and armor that you loot off of people are often better than what you have, and so you'll obviously, mechanics will reward you for equipping those new items. But they look fucking ridiculous. There's no set bonuses, and you can't go to like a tailor and say, like, hey, I want a set of this, but good. No, you have to go to closed merchants, buy blueprints, which seem to be randomized, and I have no idea how often their stock resets, and then craft them yourselves. But I have no idea what the value on armor or whatever else scales to. I think it scales to my level, so I'm putting off building anything until I'm max level, which is 50, and I'm at 27. I've been playing for at least 30 hours. It's not good. What I'm trying to say is it's not good. It's really not that good. For all the time you spend in character creator, you never see yourself. You see yourself in mirrors, or third person on a bike, or if you go into camera mode, which is kind of cool. But like, I don't know. Doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel as cool as it should. It really doesn't. It feels... Yeah, the lack of substance to the rest of the world is very noticeable. Like, you see all these ads for... Like, CD Projekt Red made such a big deal about allowing you to choose your character's genitals, or lack thereof. And in-universe, there are cybernetic genitals that you can get. Right, pretty typical Cyberpunk body modification stuff. But you can't get any of them. Why? I mean, they seem to be walking this line of like, ooh, it's naughty, we let you have genitals, and like pay for the services of certain sex workers, but only like certain ones, not all of them, which is really fucking weird. Like you can only... This part really fucks me up. There are so many strip clubs, brain dance clubs, which are basically sex work, except you have a simulation of you having sex with the person instead of you actually physically having sex with the person, but it still feels the same to you, which is really interesting and novel concept that I think could be explored more interestingly, but they just kind of don't. You can physically have sex with people, but only like specific sex workers. Why? But they like don't have any voiced lines really, so why not just have any of these many sex clubs in the game be accessible in the same way that like these, I don't know, half dozen, maybe a dozen or so individual NPCs are? Like, that's a really weird choice. Yeah, like again, it feels like it's a much smaller game spread out way too big. You could have a very interesting game if you had all this interactable stuff squeezed into the size of one of the neighborhoods in game. You'd have an amazing game. There are many rival gangs. Different neighborhoods have different gangs. If they see you and you're too close to them, they get interrogative. They don't attack you outright unless you're trespassing on restricted area, but they'll taunt you and stuff like that. But if you walk away, they leave you alone. If you have a weapon out of any kind, they'll attack you on sight, as will cops, which is just fucking hilarious. And the cop stuff we won't even get into because they're terrible. They're not even Grand Theft Auto good. Yeah, so I learned very early on that if you attack gang members on sight, number one, you get free loot and ammo and money, so just loot. You get XP and you get street cred. Street cred is a secondary leveling system, which gatekeeps the availability of certain quests. It is signifier of how well-known you are, how renowned you are. It's a neat idea. I have killed so many tigers. The tigers are a name of a oh my god, gang. Tygers. They don't attack me on sight. There is no reputation system at all. That's a huge missed opportunity. Huge missed opportunity. They should know if I'm the one going around killing hundreds of them. And should put out bounties on me, or like try to get revenge, or have some sort of give and take to make the world feel real, but it doesn't have it. The police, and I'll hop into it now, if you get a wanted level, a couple officers show up. If you keep increasing your wanted level, lots of officers show up. How do you make your wanted level go away? Drive away. That's it. Not like drive away for a long time while they're in hot pursuit, a la like in the style of Grand Theft Auto. Nope. They don't pursue you. They, kind of do, but not really. Not at all. So the threat of the police, of like breaking the law and having like this, corporate military, like this militarized police force, or these corporate police forces jump down your throat for it, nah, it just doesn't happen. I mean, a huge part of a dystopian setting is how oppressive it is, how you're constantly being monitored, how you have to work in the shadows and the dark, and all of this, shadow running, to poke at another beloved Cyberpunk game franchise. It's an antithesis to the light, but you can just go around in the daylight willy-nilly. It's not good representation of the genre. It really isn't. It's not a good representation of the game it's based off of either, unfortunately. Now, I don't want to say it's not fun, because it's fun. It's passable fun in an open world kind of shooty robot game kind of way. Now, I understand there has been some pushback from certain trans folk regarding the game. I honestly can't remember what it was. I think it was initially surrounding an ad campaign featuring a character from the tabletop role-playing game who, she has a cybernetic penis. And, people reacted going like, oh, that advertising's gross. And they're right, the intention is for that advertising to be gross. The corporations in-game are gross, are disgusting. It's supposed to be taken to an excess, level of excess. There's been, this, feeling that CD Projekt Red was dreaming up these characters or these concepts, and as I understand it, not really. They were just putting book to screen, if you will. Now, as creative force, they definitely have a responsibility to do so in a way that's, responsible. And I don't know if they do that. I really can't comment on that. Or, maybe I could, but I don't care to. There's so much more important stuff going on in the world right now, and the amount of people bitching about a single AAA game title that no one will think about in 6 months. Who gives a fuck? Like, people are dying. Lots of people are dying every day in the United States. Incredible amounts of violence is being committed every single day in the United States. There are thousands of fascist demonstrators protesting, being fought and counter-protested by socialists and progressives and anarchists who are demonized. And the police often side with the fascists. But no, let's not spend our time getting fucking angry about that. Let's get angry about a game. Yes, there is valid critique there, but like, holy shit. I just want people's energy to be more usefully directed. Critiquing media, particularly corporate media, capitalist media, and complaining that it isn't doing a good enough job at social justice, well, you're probably absolutely right, but incremental reform is not, I don't know, dog. It's just not. It's not how you get there. It's just. I don't know. Let's. Oh my God, that's bright. Yeah, so, okay, the critique is vaguely that Cyberpunk 2077 doesn't, that it fetishizes and commodifies trans bodies and trans identity. You're assigning it to CD Projekt Red, and I understand that because they are the ones who made the game, right? And as the game creator, they are ultimately responsible for the content. But their interpretation was to take written work and translate the medium that it existed in, very much like The Witcher. That's their jam, mostly, is that kind of transference. It is disgusting. The commodification and fetishization of everything in capitalism is disgusting. That's the thesis of Cyberpunk as a setting. It takes capitalism of the late 80s, the early 90s, of today even, and it extrapolates its trajectory. And it uses that extrapolation. It contrasts our lived experience and our hopes and our dreams and our ideals and what we might hope for being better with this nightmare scenario where, ooh, yeah, there's a lot of cool, shiny things, but it's all fucking horrible. That's the point of the goddamn genre. And, like, yeah, probably the developers could have and should have done better. Yeah, that's a very sensitive issue, particularly because trans bodies and trans identities are fetishized and commodified in ways that are incredibly dangerous, incredibly destructive, incredibly violent in our lived world now. So I can understand the fear or anxiety or frustration or anger, thinking that this is perpetuating that, thinking that this is encouraging that or supporting that. I have a really hard time imagining somebody playing this game, being in this setting, and not reading it as a condemnation of capitalism, a condemnation of this sort of appetite of fetishization, of commodification. Yeah, gendering of voices, that was a weird choice. That's fair. only having 2 voices, also weird for the protagonist, also weird. Like, even older games had, like, 3 that you could choose from, but this is becoming more and more common. I mean, in Mass Effect, you didn't get to choose your character's voice either. Yeah. Sims 3. Sims 4? Is Sims 4 the most recent one? Whatever the fuck the most recent Sims game is, I think probably the best character creator in terms of gender. You pick their voice. You pick a character model, so a rough body shape. You pick the size of various body parts. You pick whether they pee standing up or sitting down. You choose whether they can get pregnant or can get someone else pregnant, or both. I think both is an option. And the actual genitals, or lack thereof, is obfuscated. Of course, there's Lovers Lab mods to de-obfuscate that, but generally it's probably the best out there. I mean, I might be wrong about that, but it's probably the best. So CD Projekt Red really could have done better. A lot of people have been saying that if Animal Crossing has a better character creator than you fucked up. Yeah, the character creator sucked in Cyberpunk 2077. They don't just gender lock voice, they gender lock hairstyles and facial hair, and I think tattoo sets. Like, a lot of weird shit. I get the rationale is probably, well, we designed the female hair to fit on female character models, and the male character model doesn't really fit the hair in the same way. Make it dynamic. Make it dynamic. Just make it fit both models. Make it resize, even if it looks a little weird. Like, for fuck's sake, there have been decades of games doing that. So, yeah, the critique is valid. But this is just such an asinine thing to be caring about when there's so many more important things going on right now. And I recognize, as a white, assigned male at birth person who presents largely as masculine, it is not my place to be dictating what is more important or less important to get mad about or frustrated about or hurt by or focus energy on, right? It is not my dictate to decide what's important, what's not important, but god fucking damn it, I hate consumerism. I hate consumerism so goddamn much when people get so fired up for months and months and months about this game. And all of that energy and frustration, which is valid, all right? It's absolutely valid. It could be so much more productively used. I don't know, is the game good? It's fine. It's fine. It's good? No. It's like a B-. They fuck a lot of things up? Yeah. I will say, my in-game character, she has a penis. In the sex scenes, you cannot see her penis. I'm really surprised more people aren't complaining about that bug. Because they don't even render your model properly, dependent on your genital choice. They don't even render your genitals properly. They do when you're like trying on clothes, or if you're viewing your model from a third person perspective. But for whatever reason, she has a dick 90% of the time. And then when it's time to get sexy, she has a pussy. It is the funniest fucking thing. It's broken. It's incredibly broken. The game's not done. It's not done. The game needed, at least 6 to 8 weeks of testing and patching before release, but then it wouldn't have come out by the end of 2020, and oh, there goes our marketing campaign. Ooh, CD Projekt Red delayed again. They should have just delayed it, though. Yeah, I don't fucking know. I've been pouring too much time into that game. Yeah. I don't know. And there's the adage, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. I think that's excessively true here. And people critiquing media, dude, absolutely do it. Absolutely do it. I mean, that's how we make better media. But priorities? I don't know. I'm so goddamn tired. How long have I been talking? Oh, almost an hour. See, all I had to do was go off about Cyberpunk 2077. I'm playing it, and it's not that good, but it's good. It's fine. And go off on, like, I'm mad that people are mad about this because there's more life-threatening stuff to be mad about, but also, like, they're right, but, like, it's a fucking video game. But it's a video game with a large audience, so I get, you know, it's important. I didn't buy the game, to be fair. But, like, you know, boycotting things doesn't fucking work. Okay, can we be clear about that? Cancel culture, liberal cancel culture, boycotting shit does not work. Boycotting things and saying, I'm not going to support this or this is bad. What so often it does is it gets people who are contrarian or share views that are polar opposite of yours to double down on their consumption of it. Very, very, very rarely, at least in recent history, have campaigns of withholding consumption been passed to meaningful reform or change. You want change? You want reform? You want media to have better standards? Fucking organize. Get games workers unionized. Get the developers unionized. Protect them with national laws and state laws to allow them to unionize, to protect them when they do unionize, and then go to the union with your union or your caucus or people who represent the concerns that you have and talk union to union, caucus to caucus, and say that this is something we care about and we're comrades and we are here for each other on labor issues and social issues, and this is a social issue, so let's stand in solidarity. If you want these social changes in media, you have to build coalitions. You have to build support. You have to fucking unionize. Yeah, that's the takeaway. You can be mad about it. Just use proven workable infrastructure to affect change instead of the consumerist capitalist media of complaining about something until it changes or refusing to consume it, but then posting about how you're refusing to consume it, thereby agitating people who were already consuming it to consume it all the more. And I get the idea of trying to bring attention to issues to get people to not consume it if it's problematic. But I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. I think there's better ways to go about things than just screaming into the void on Twitter. But I do it too. But mostly what I'm screaming into the void on Twitter is, hey, dsausa.org. Unionize. Organize. Direct action works. Direct action in terms of strikes, and work stoppages. You unionize game developers, they're not going to crunch. And if there are ideological issues, and you have their backs, and they have legal support, they'll go to bat for you. Easy as that. Okay, I'll get off my high horse. It's been an hour. I started out by bitching. I'm still tired. Everything's still fucked. I'm super depressed. I don't know what I'm doing today. I don't know if I'm going to sleep or not. Job situations. You know, I'm gonna try and stay optimistic. We'll see what happens. I think just at my core, I'm a deeply pessimistic person right now. So I'm like, it's fucked. Everything's fucked. Everything's fucked forever. But you know, we'll see what happens. If it's fucked, it's fucked. If it's not, it's not. Yeah, I haven't gotten an email. Just making sure. Yeah, there's some people I'd really like to hear back from. God, I need to do something to shake things up. But hey, bitching worked. Maybe I should stream game. Maybe I should stream game to complain about it as a way to vent and focus on something that's not as important as the slow decline of capitalism cascades around us, and the oligarchs are in ever-growing denial about the human cost that day by day is ticking away at in numbers unmatched by any war in American history. Woo! Alright, I'm gonna wrap up there. Until tomorrow, join the fucking DSA. Toodaloo. Take care. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.